move, cripple. Those words, sharp, cruel, and spat like venom, still echo in my head whenever I think back to that day at the Santa Monica Pier. If you've ever been bullied, if you've ever been told you don't belong just because of who you are, then you know exactly how it feels. This isn't just a story about one girl, it's about all of us. And by the end of it, you'll see why strangers with roaring engines and leather jackets became the family she never knew she had. Her name was Marissa. 14 years old. She had a gentle smile, the kind that made people around her feel like the sun had come out. But Marissa was born with cerebral palsy, and though she fought hard to keep her independence, her legs never worked the way she wished they would. She moved with crutches, sometimes a wheelchair when her muscles tightened too much. Her parents always told her, "You're stronger than they'll ever know." But the world? The world doesn't always see strength when it comes in a form they don't understand. That afternoon, the Santa Monica Pier was alive with laughter, families eating ice cream, kids winning stuffed animals, couples holding hands while the ocean breeze rolled in. Marissa was there with her best friend, Kayla, who always insisted they go out and enjoy the world instead of hiding at home. For a while, everything was perfect. They bought cotton candy, rode the Ferris wheel, and even listened to a street musician play a song that made them both dance in their own clumsy, joyful way. But bullies never rest. 3 boys, not much older than her, maybe 16 or 17, spotted Marissa as she moved slowly across the wooden planks. They smirked at each other, whispering like predators circling prey. Then it came, the shove, the laugh, the hissed insult, "Move, cripple," one of them sneered as he kicked the crutch out from under her arm. The world tilted. Marissa crashed hard against the pier, the wood scraping her palms as her face burned with humiliation. People saw. They always see. But too many looked away, pretending they hadn't. Kayla tried to help, yelling at the boys, but she was just one voice against 3 mocking laughs. In that moment, Marissa wanted the pier to swallow her whole. She wanted to disappear. Her crutch clattered to the side, her body shaking with more than pain. It was shame. Shame planted by someone else's cruelty, and then, something changed. The low rumble of engines grew louder, closer, like thunder rolling over the horizon. Heads turned. From the street leading onto the pier, a long line of motorcycles rolled in, chrome glinting, leather jackets creaking, the kind of presence that makes the air vibrate. There must have been 30, maybe 40 riders. They weren't just passing by. No, they came with purpose, and they stopped right where Marissa was. The bullies froze. Their smirks faltered. One of the bikers, tall with a beard streaked with gray and a jacket patched with the words "Iron Guardians," swung his leg off his Harley and walked forward. His boots hit the wood like drumbeats. He bent down, not to the bullies, but to Marissa, offering his hand. "You okay, sweetheart?" he asked softly. Marissa blinked through tears. She nodded, barely, and placed her trembling hand in his. He helped her up gently, like she was made of glass but also steel. The crowd had gone silent. Then he turned, his eyes narrowing at the 3 boys. His voice dropped, calm but heavy with a warning. "You think it makes you tough to pick on someone fighting battles you'll never understand? How about you try picking on someone your own size?" The boys stammered, muttering excuses, but the sea of bikers had already closed in around them. Engines revved, leather creaked, and 30 pairs of eyes burned with a fury those kids had never seen. One by one, the bullies backed away, their bravado shrinking until they vanished down the pier. But the bikers didn't leave. They stayed with Marissa. They picked up her crutch, dusted it off, and one woman in the group even pulled a small stuffed bear from her saddlebag, pressing it into Marissa's hands with a smile. For the bravest girl on this pier, she said, that day didn't end with tears. It ended with laughter. The bikers invited Marissa and Kayla to sit with them, to share stories and sodas while the sun dipped into the ocean. They showed her their motorcycles, let her sit on one, even snapped photos together. For the first time, Marissa felt like she wasn't just surviving, she was seen, respected, protected, and that moment grew into something bigger. The Iron Guardians became part of her life. They checked in on her, showed up at her school to escort her during anti-bullying rallies, and reminded everyone that kindness backed by courage is unstoppable. Marissa herself changed. She started speaking up for others who felt invisible, standing taller even with crutches, because she knew she wasn't standing alone. The lesson? Cruelty may be loud, but compassion roars louder. Sometimes it takes strangers on motorcycles to prove it. Sometimes it just takes one person willing to say, enough. And if you're listening to this now, if you've ever been knocked down, remember this: you are stronger than their words. You are braver than their cruelty. And somewhere out there, maybe closer than you think, there's a sea of people ready to surround you, to lift you up, to remind you you belong. So let me ask you, if you had been on that pier that day, would you have turned away like the crowd, or would you have stood tall with the bikers? Because in the end, we all get to decide: will we be the bullies, the bystanders, or the ones who roar against the darkness?